Y'all look fabulous. Great morning. Okay, so are we ready, Rob?
Yep. We're recording.
Okay. All right. So group one, you had the following question: what is ethnocentrism? How can it overtly and unintentionally occur while you're in Sevilla?
Well, ethnocentrism is viewing other, like you said earlier, viewing another culture with the mindset that your culture is superior. We're saying one way it can like happen like on purpose is like you know that, let's say a country has a certain way of hygiene, and you just go out there and just keep complaining out loud like how bad people stink. So I was like, that's pretty. I feel like that can happen. Unintentionally, maybe like not knowing what certain words mean other things in certain parts of the country, and you're just out there yelling and with your friends or stuff, and it's actually really rude, and you shouldn't say that around children.
Right. That's a great example, Andrick. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's like the smells and hygiene of other people in other countries is not sometimes always the same with us, or meets our expectation. So I thank you for sharing that. I like that example. All right, group two. Hey, you all had. What did you all have?
Taking a taxi and shopping in the market.
Okay, so what's going on?
Okay, well, question 2 is how do you tell your taxi driver where to go? So we said to firstly have the address ready before the taxi even gets there to save, time and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then you can, like, prior to getting in, you can translate what you want to say. Genuinely, like, can you take me here, or, yeah, well, that's all you say in a taxi.
Right.
Yeah, and then also it's probably safe to have a general idea of where you're going.
Yeah.
Also.
Absolutely. Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, the second part of that, did you cover that? Okay.
This one?
Yeah.
Yep.
To get out of the taxi in time. Yeah. So, cool.
You said to like tell them that like stop and that it's okay for us. Like, thank you.
Right. And be prepared to do that. I mean, it's okay to say, hey, stop right here. This is cool. I can get off right here. Because how many of us have so many times been in an Uber or a taxi where we're like, you know what? Right here's good. I'm ready to go. And so over there, just be willing and ready to say that and then walk the rest of the distance that you need to go to. So, good.
Yeah. The next group had, you want to purchase some peaches. What would you say? Oh, wait.
Still our group.
Oh, it's still your group. Oh, good. Okay, go for it. What would you say to the vendor about peaches?
You would just ask for some pictures.
Very, very good, very good. I think Kim specifically asked that question.
In Spanish?
Well, no, she specifically asked that question because she wanted you all to know that when you go to the market, you cannot touch the fruit. You have to ask them how many, and then you have to tell them how many you want, and then they will grab it. Touching the fruit over there is considered like touching something very expensive. Like, you don't do that. It's like a no-no. And so Kim was like grabbing fruit, and like they kind of got after her. She's like, oh shoot, sorry. And then she didn't know how much to say what she wanted, so they ended up giving her like this huge sack of peaches, and she was just like, oh, I didn't really specify. And I think she got confused. So then, so number one, if you want a specific number, so you can say tres duraznos, dos manzanas, just give them signals and then tell them, but don't be like, I think she ordered like 2 pounds of peaches or 3 pounds, and that's how she got confused. So be able to really be specific about the produce that you want to purchase, and just know that you can't touch things, you just have to look. Okay.
And CA will go over that when you guys get to Sevilla and you do your orientation. They will take you to a market and they will explain exactly how that is. Yes.
Will they get mad if like they grab one and you don't want that one? If you're like, no, not that one.
Yeah, they will.
Really?
Yeah.
For the most part, they will pick the best. They will pick the best fruit because they want you to have the best fruit too. They don't want to give you like a mealy, mushed piece of fruit. So they want you to have the best produce because it's their market. So they want you to have it. And they did that too. Like in Rome, you had to use plastic. Like you use a glove or you use a bag before you touch any of the fruit. It's also just a hygiene thing. Like they don't want people touching all the fruit because I don't even want to think about our country. People are touching that all the time. And most people don't wash their fruits and veggies. So they'll be doing that as well. So yeah. All right. So we good on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Our next group. Rafa, do you want to read?
Yeah. Our next group is going to be, where are we? Traveling. You have a few classmates. They decided to go to Barcelona on a free weekend. You arrive safely and decide to go to breakfast in the cafe. You realize that your credit card has been frozen. You only have 50 euros. What do? This has happened, so.
So we just said to contact a traveling advisor and let them know what's going on immediately. After contact your bank and figure out what's going on with why your card's frozen.
Okay.
And also just budgeting the money that you have on you and maybe ask if a friend you can possibly borrow money for them and then later figure out how to
Right.
get it back.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I think, notifying, hey, this has happened to me, this is my situation, so this is what I'm going to go through, and these are the steps that I'm going to be going through. Perfect. I let my bank know when I was in London and Paris that I'd be in London and Paris at the specific time, and I get to Paris my first day, everything's great, second day, everything gets declined. And I'm just like, I don't have any money, I can't eat, and that's our big day, and I'm just like, what am I doing? So I looked at one of my students, and I was just like, I knew Omar Zaragoza that was here, he was the Gilman Scholar, so he was making it rain, he had all kinds of money. So I was like, Omar, yo, I need you to back me up, and he's like, yeah, I got you. So the first thing I did was I found someone to be able to back me, number one, because you don't want to be that person that goes hungry or doesn't have anything and doesn't say something. Number two, I called my bank right away. I was just like, hey, and then right away, literally within a 30-minute period, it was good. And so I was just like, we're good. But yeah, I really like the steps that you took with that. That's great.
And another thing with that, speaking of calling your bank, did you guys all go over phone plans?
Not yet.
Okay, you all need to have a phone. It is required, and CEA will require you to have an international plan, whether that is through your own servicer here in the United States, whatever provider you have, you can contact them. They also have Vodafone across Europe. They have little cards that you can get, and you can insert that. That's what I used, because then it was like unlimited, and I didn't have to worry about it. The thing with Vodafone, though, is it wasn't always working to call back to the United States. So Sarah had two phones with her. One was on her plan and another one. So I was using her phone to call back to the United States when I told you my card got stolen in the taxi. And so a lot of times it's easier to do through your own provider to do that. So if those emergencies come up, but also somebody will have a phone like that, but you all have to have a working phone. No matter how you go about doing that, you all have to have a working phone within Sevilla, because we have to be able to contact you at any time. If there's a state of emergency, if we just saw Notre Dame that was burning, if say we were there and you all were on a different part of Notre Dame and we were all exploring different areas, that was a huge emergency and they had evacuation. If we can't call you, that's a liability. And we did have one person that continuously did not have their phone, and it was a huge problem. And CEA was on them. So everybody has to have a working phone no matter how you go about doing it, and we need to get that taken care of pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Probably next class we'll talk about that. Yeah.
Is there how public areas have Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is Wi-Fi. So that's one of the big things is you can use Wi-Fi. That's a great thing, but you can't always rely on Wi-Fi because it's not consistent across the board, such as here. I mean, you can pretty much stop anywhere and have Wi-Fi. Yeah, Daisy.
So if you were, for example, to get the little...
The Vodafone?
Yeah, that one. Would that chip actually fit in our phone?
Yes. And they will help you. And I used one for almost the whole trip, and then I got a second one because I stayed longer. But I did have problems. There's some glitches with that too, because I know when I went from Sevilla back to Rome, something glitchy happened and I didn't have any service. So I didn't have internet, I didn't have phone, and I was in a taxi trying to get to my new Airbnb, and I had no way of contacting my family. It was a real challenge. I don't speak Italian, and so I had this really nice Italian cab driver that was trying to help me, and we're looking at a picture of the place I'm supposed to stay at. Address was not clear, I didn't have numbers, and so we're matching houses by a picture. Needless to say, when my mom saw me, I was not happy. She gave everybody the address but me, and I was the one that was not traveling with the family. So having a working phone is really important, and so sometimes just having it through your carrier is a lot easier. But otherwise, when I was just in country, it worked pretty well. So, but once I left Italy, went to Spain, it was working fine, and then I came back and it wasn't working. So.
Rafa, you gave us an estimate of when to call.
Right, I forgot about that. I did.
Bank. So
Oh, I think you're meaning phones.
I thought it was
Okay.
Yeah.
An estimate.
oh, like when to call our bank, tell them that.
Oh, yeah, to do at least 3 weeks in advance.
So like now.
So basically now, and I hate
Yeah.
to say that, but basically, yeah. And then they can get the money for you. Because remember I told you how I was going to Mexico, and I was like, well, Mexico's currency is close to the United States. It's probably be easy to get. And they're like, yeah, that's cool, but if you would have given us a 2 weeks heads up.
Yeah.
So yeah, contact them and like find out how much it will take for you to get money.
And let them know any country you intend to go to.
Yep.
Because even if you're not going to really go, if you're planning to go to Paris, you need to let them know you're going to be there, and just let them know, yeah, definitely you'll be in Morocco, you'll be in all these countries, and anywhere you're thinking about going, you know, if you're going to Prague, they need to know that, because the minute you cross into a country that you didn't mention, they're going to shut it down.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I just realized we're kind of running out of time, so okay. Which one are we on, Rafa?
We are
Number 6? Okay. While traveling in a group, you get stuck behind a slower moving individual on the train. As you're getting off the train, you don't see anyone from your group. You've been left on the platform. What do you do?
We just said again to contact one of your advisors or classmates, like call them. And if you can't get a hold of them, then call like CEA. And if you can't seem to get a hold of anyone and you feel confident to make your way back home, then do so. But like try again and call people so they know where you're at.
Good, very good. I think that's perfect, everything that you said. And we're gonna have a group chat already set up for that way. Any communication is just gonna go straight there. So automatically, where are you, what's going on? And so I love that, yeah, perfect.
And you want to make sure that, and the better answer too is make sure that you have a group. Don't leave anybody behind. No person left behind, because that's really key. We had on one of our trips in Rome, I think it was Omar.
Yeah.
He fell asleep